It seems like Infinity Ward is in some pretty big trouble right now with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. We're going to go through what's going on in this video, plus how this is going to affect a DLC for the rest of the year and MW3 content as well. They might finally give us what we've been asking for, so we'll go through that in this video. Be sure to subscribe for more COD update videos like this, and shout out to my partner Apex Gaming PCs, a bunch of great customizable PCs over there, great for making videos, playing COD, other popular games, stuff like that. And for this weekend only, there's a special 12% off promotion if you use code MATTERS, the same discount code I always have here, but a lot more dollars off of your purchase. 12% off a huge PC order is actually a lot of money, so if you go on to buy a PC, be sure to use code MATTERS for an extra discount for a limited time here. Links are down below. But first up here, Warzone 2 player count plummets despite ranked being added, and this is also about MW2 as well, but they talk about Warzone 2 because of how bad the game has been performing. MW2 has been performing a bit better, but still struggling in its own right. But let's go through this information first here, then we'll break down other stuff, of course. So when Warzone 2 was first revealed as a part of Modern Warfare 2, plenty of Call of Duty players were full of hype for the new Battle Royale title, even if there was a bit of skepticism about some of the changes. Now, honestly, at COD Next, from what I saw, a lot of people did not like Warzone 2 whatsoever when they first played it. MW2 was well received for the most part, honestly. The beta was actually a lot of fun. The movement in the beta was solid, but Warzone 2, off the bat, people I feel like already didn't like. So I don't know if people were ever really hyped for it, but they may have been a bit more hopeful and optimistic for what might release. Now, upon launching, Battle Royale quickly flew to the top of the charts alongside MW2. However, over the last few months, things have fallen off a bit. Players have complained about the overall state of the game, even though cheating isn't as prevalent as in the original Warzone, and demanded a fair few changes from the devs. So you do have to give them props here. Cheating is a lot better in Warzone. I remember during Verdansk, the end of Verdansk, and even during Caldera as well, especially during Caldera actually, there was such a bad cheating problem in Warzone. It made the game almost unplayable for a good couple of months there. So the cheating problem is still kind of there, but definitely not as bad. But now the core game isn't as fun, which definitely is not good, obviously. One of the big requests centered around ranked play, of course, as a part of Season 3 that was finally introduced, and it brought some big-name players back to the game. However, as a whole, the player count has dropped significantly. As per new stats from Steam charts, over the last month, Warzone 2 has seen a drop-off of over 15,500 players on Steam, and now averages around 65,000 players. That's even ticked down to 60,000 recently. The peak of the last 30 days has just a tick over 104,000 players, which is a drastic difference compared to the previous months. When the game first launched, it had a peak of over 488,000 players before dropping off to 308,000. It also dropped off in the new year, but maintained a peak of 150,000 players until April, when it finally dipped under that number. In terms of average players, Warzone 2 has also dropped from around 100,000 to the aforementioned 65,000 players, which is a huge drop off there. So again, Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, this is the entire game on Steam, so it's showing you that in the past couple of weeks here, this past month, we have not been doing well here. And honestly, I think the past couple updates have been okay. Not the best updates, but definitely, I would say Season 3 was a lot better than Season 2 overall, but the player count is still going down. And honestly, based on what I'm seeing from Warzone players, and let me know down below if you agree here, I think people actually do still like Warzone ranked play, and a lot of the hardcore Warzone players are actually playing a lot more Warzone than they ever did before. But the problem is most casual players are probably not playing as much as they did before, and they're probably not interested in Warzone ranked play, and since they take up a majority of the player count of MW2 and Warzone 2, the overall numbers are going down, even if the hardcore Warzone players are enjoying Warzone ranked more, if that makes any sense. So that's a big situation there. Obviously, that's just my speculation, but why else would the numbers be down so much, unless just everyone hates everything right now, which, could be partly true as well. Obviously, these figures only account for Steam and not every other platform, but they are typically indicative of the bigger picture given Steam's grip on PC gaming. It's also interesting to note a lot of these players are turning their back on Warzone 2 despite the World Series of Warzone qualifiers also taking place. It seems they haven't got eyes for the $1.2 million prize pool. So again, here's my theory, which I think makes a lot of sense. The hardcore players, as I've been saying, are super interested now in Warzone ranked play. They want to go for that event. They want to go for that $1 million, but most of the casual players that don't care about this event, that know they're not good enough to win the event, that aren't even interested in a ranked play of any kind, they're just not interested because there aren't a lot of core updates to the Warzone 2 base game. It might just be that, and seasonally as well, Call of Duty doesn't do that well during this time, so it could be a combination of a lot of factors here, of course. But I think potentially here, people are just getting sick and tired of playing this game, MW2 and Warzone 2, which really does suck because as I've been saying, the game isn't that bad. I mean, Warzone 2 has issues, but MW2 really isn't that bad. One of the biggest problems I had with this game, especially with MP, is just the lack of 6v6 content. We barely got any new uniquely made 6v6 maps, and the ones we did get, for the most part, are not good, man. Auburn Hatchery, really not that good. The Lighthouse map is okay, decent. Expo, I feel like, is the only good uniquely made map they made, and even that map isn't the best map, so it's kind of crazy here. I think this game had a lot of potential, and it seems like they kind of fumbled what could have been a really solid year for multiplayer. So it sucks to see, but it's the way it is here. And obviously, I think Activision especially doesn't want to see these numbers fall off massively. And hopefully, they're telling Sledgehammer Games, which is leading the charge for MW3, and IW as well, which will, you know, play some type of role in this next game, to give the fans what they want to see. Now the question is, what do fans of COD want to see? Because everyone has their own opinion on what types of maps they want to see. As we've been talking about, the last couple of MW2 MP maps, for example, are going to be more competitive maps, which are usually the 3-lane maps, more traditional maps that we saw in the past. So does this mean that for the rest of MW2, and maybe for MW3 as well, are the MP maps going to be more traditional and less like what we've been seeing, the super large 15-lane maps where you camp everywhere and there's sniper vantage points on every point on the map? Are we seeing less of those maps and more of the 3 to 4 lane traditional maps? Potentially. If it's going to bring the numbers back up, that's really what matters to Activision. And right now, the numbers are going down massively, so clearly something is not working. Again, I do agree there is some seasonality to this year, and Call of Duty's always kind of drop off towards the middle of the year, end of the current game. It is what it is, but I don't know. It seems kind of weird right now. So let me know down below. Would that bring you back to the game? If MW3 had classical style MP maps a bit more from what we saw in the past, would that bring you back? Do you like the new MW2, MW19 style MP maps? I mean, let me know what you're looking for down below. Obviously, bundles, as much as people don't like them, they're going to be here. They're not going anywhere. It sucks, but it's the way it is, obviously. So hopefully they just put as much effort, or, you know, probably more effort, ideally more effort into the game than they do in bundles, which I think they put a lot of effort into the game, but it seems like they have been focusing a lot on bundles recently. Now for Warzone here, Warzone, I mean, I'm not a big Warzone player. There are probably so many changes they need to make here leading into MW3. Let me know down below if you're a Warzone specific player. You mainly play Warzone. What would bring you back to the game? What would truly bring you back to the game? Like, would you just want to go back to Verdansk days, just how exactly Warzone 1 was? Do you want new features? Let me know down below. Spec Ops there. Spec Ops is always kind of decent. Not my favorite mode. DMZ, I think DMZ could hopefully return, stay the way it is, but have more missions, have more of an overall, you know, reason to play DMZ, because it does get a bit boring after a while. Have a bigger in-game economy, being able to trade items with other players, with random players, you know, be a bit more in-depth, have a big, you know, mastery camo to grind for in DMZ by completing all these different missions, more Easter eggs. I think that would be super, super cool, and people would actually play that and enjoy that. But overall, let me know down below. I do think if these numbers continue to fall off, changes will be made, and MW3 will not be an exact copy of MW2. I mean, if I'm a businessman and I'm seeing numbers fall off, I'm going to change things up, man, for the Call of Duty. So we'll see what we get here. I'll be sure to update you guys on that. Let me know down below your opinions on this stuff here. What do you want to see for the rest of MW2, DLC, and for MW3 next year? Be sure to subscribe for more COD update videos like this. Shout out to YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.